All right, we are live. We'll wait for a couple of minutes. I think I'm 5 minutes early just because of the previous bad experience I've had. So, yeah, cool. What's up? I was reading a very good article. Okay, meanwhile, I have 5 minutes, so let's just let's just go with why I started this. I mean, why I'm doing live. Let's turn this light on. Yeah, cool. Why am I doing these live sessions on YouTube? And what's the objective behind this? Uh, Mainly, I'm doing this to build an online presence, get to know new people, reach out because I wrote this blog and this is getting over 500 views every week. And every third or second week, someone reach out reaches out to me through email or Twitter. Uh, so yeah, it's pretty cool, man. Like if you can share your knowledge out there in public, and people are rewarding you for that. Like I mean, they are it's helping someone. So yeah, I want to do more of that. And last Sunday, I started off with one first live stream, and that went pretty bad because OBS has some sort of bug with Mac OS. And yeah, so right now I'm using my old Dell laptop. I upgraded few things like the RAM and SSD. It has pretty good GPU, so it's cool. So I'll be doing that now. Like I'm just doing a pilot run for this, and in return, we'll get to implement this blog. Uh, so yeah, so this blog is basically a React Native app, mainly focusing on Android part as of now. So yeah, so I faced a lot of issues while developing this. So I had gotten a project where I had to build a location tracking app. Uh, this app had to track the location of people and give them the pollution update. Like, uh, so yeah, and maybe give them a recommended path where it's less polluted. So I had developed this using job scheduler on Android native. I come from an Android native background using Java. So I had built that and it was working pretty fine. And now we had to implement the same thing using React Native. And so it was such a pain because none of the libraries worked, even those which told key they could do background location tracking. So I had to find my own way out, at least to implement it on Android. iOS, I think things are pretty simple. I might do a part two of this video on iOS separately, but today I'm just going to implement this whole blog, uh, and let's see how that works out. And I'm gonna run it on an emulator, so that should be fine. I'll put the link of this blog in the description once the live stream is over, and you guys can have a look at it. At the same time, I'm gonna link this live stream video to this uh, blog as well, so people can see it working live. Uh, cool. I'm also gonna take some questions if there are any kind of viewers right now. There are two viewers, not bad. So I'm gonna take some questions. If you don't have, like, if you don't understand anything, I'm cool with taking questions here. Or you could always reach out to me on Twitter and put out your questions. This is my Twitter handle /Saurav_BZ. Yep. This is my Twitter handle. So you could reach out to me here, send in a follow request or DM me, and that should be all right. Cool. Shall we start? Oh, we have three viewers. Not bad. I always go with this philosophy: one is greater than zero. So we have three today. So let's just go with this. All right, guys. Sound check, screen check. Is it clear? Are you getting HD stream? Are you able to listen to my audio clearly? Some kind of a rain check. If you could drop in your reply in the chat section, it would be awesome. Once you confirm that, I'll start the implementation part. You might require some sort of knowledge in React Native while we are doing this. But again, I'm doing this as a pilot run, so I might actually hide this video and make another one much clearer implementation. Let's see how it goes. Yes, all clear. Thank you, Charit. All right, cool. Let's begin. So it's quite simple. I'm gonna switch to my coding screen so that you can. I'm gonna keep toggling between my this screen and this screen. Okay, so that you get the context when we are reading it from the blog and when we are actually seeing the coding part. All right. So here I have a new Visual Studio Code, and this is not pointed anywhere, so uh, it's on the this thing. So I'm just going to go to desktop, and I opened this using Control and Tidal symbol. So Control plus Tidal, you can open it, or else you can go to Terminal and you can click New Terminal, so that will also work. And yeah, that should be a fine view. Yeah, this part. You can open this and you can I think I already have commands. I was just setting up this system, guys, so all the commands and everything will be here. I'm just gonna create a new project called as background location tracking, something of that sort. So that, okay, there's a lot of commands. All right, I think I should just type it. Okay, let's just, I'm gonna give again a quick intro. If you go to React Native, I think the last stream I did, I had spoken about this. So just Google React Native and you can go to reactnative.dev. And this is the best place you can start off with. All kind of setups are given. It's quite informative. Uh, I'll be doing another stream on Sunday where I'll be talking a lot more about this pages, picking up codes from here. But for now, if you're starting off very newly, just select React Native CLI. I'm doing on Windows PC and targeting on Android. So if you have set up everything, you can just copy this command from here, which is called npx React Native init and your project name. So you can just copy this, and also ensure you have Node.js installed, because or else npm or npx is not going to run. So we are going to go to our command prompt and type create a new project called as background location. Cool. This might take a little while to set things up, but it's fine. Until then, I'll just talk about this page here. So if you're setting up and if you're new to this whole Android React Native ecosystem, developing for mobile, first you need to install and set up your Android Studio really well. By really well, I mean you should be able to create and run your first Android app using Java uh, on through your Android Studio. That is a final confirmation that it has worked perfectly. And yeah, so basically that. And once you have done that, you need to go and install Node.js from Node.js website. You can download, please download the stable version, don't download the latest version. You can actually go a step lower and actually pick up an older version like 13 or 12, which is more stable. But 14 is good enough. You don't have to do that. But if you're facing any issues with your Node.js, JavaScript, or NPM, you know where to fix that if there is a version issue. So once you have done that, you will have npm and npm and node set up in your path. So when you do something like this, let's see, yeah, it's set up. So when you do something like this, node dash dash version, you get your node version, and when you do npm dash dash version, you get your npm version. So, yep. Okay, so we have our app, we have our folder created, and it has created background location on desktop, and we can just actually file, open folder, cool. So we have our folder over here. If you Our project folder, yes, you can see that. Cool. So we have our app folder over here, and I'm gonna run this again, going into the command prompt. And now if you open your command prompt, it will be pointed in your folder. So here you can type npm react native run Android. Okay, it's npx. All right, so it's setting up. So this emulator is running on Android 10. Again, if you are if you are new to Android Studio, you will have your emulator set up to Android 11. Android 11 is little buggy, guys, so I would recommend you to have Android 10 version. I got an update on my mobile phone, and it's still a lot of issues. I'm facing some issues. All right. Background location has not been registered. This can be happened. Oh, okay. Module field wasn't called. Okay, there's some issue. I'm gonna do it again. Let's see how that works. This is supposed to start a Metro server. Metro server is a place where all the files get, yeah, starting JS server. Okay, cool. Installing the app. All right, so we have our Metro server running, and our app is getting built. Okay, build successful, and now we should have the app running fine. Okay, yeah, it's loading. Okay, awesome. So we have our app up and running. Thank God. I thought there would be some issue because I literally set up this whole VS Code Android Studio yesterday on this system. Even the SSD, the C drive is updated. So yeah, so that's another stuff. Okay, so yeah, if you look at the screen, mobile screen, if you look here, it tells you welcome to React Native step one, edit app.js to change the screen and then come back to see your edits. And you can double tap R on your keyboard to reload your app, and yeah, all these things are there. It's just a manual, it's a template, and this part of the code is getting rendered on the mobile screen. And so yeah, let's just erase all of this. This is not necessary. I'm just gonna remove this section. What is the section from app? Okay, I'm just gonna remove this, and I'm gonna create a view with a text align. Hello world, welcome to the live stream. All right, so I'm just gonna save this. Yeah, you can see our app is getting updated, and we'll just remove the unnecessary part of the code. The styling is not required as of now. And okay, oops. And we'll remove this part of the code as well. And so this won't be necessary. And this is all functional components. If you are coming from React background, it would be very simple to understand this. But if you are not coming from React background, it's going to take some time, but it's not very difficult. You can learn it. All right. What type mode? I don't think I need this. I'm just gonna make this a normal functional component. See how that works. Yeah, it still works, right? No, constant declaration requires an initial value. All right, so this is, yeah, sorry. Okay, cool. So this is working fine. So let's do this. Perfect. So we have our app here, live app. You can see this is our emulator and this is the code. Here, the safe area basically means is it's a view, the background view. The safe area basically means if you have a notch, like we have started having mobile screens with notch and pinhole camera and all those things. The safe area basically removes, it means the area where there is no punch hole, or else it's going to start from there. If you're on a MacBook or something, try running it on iOS 12. Instead of safe area, just put safe area view, just put as view. It will work fine even with view right now. That's because there is no notch in this Pixel 3, I guess. This is a Pixel 3 emulator. So, but yeah, for your app to run properly with a screen where notches are there, that's more important. So we have our app set up. Let's toggle to our Chrome and see what's happening there. All right, let's go to the blog. So I had written a short story why I had to do this, why I did that, all those things. If you're from India and you know the whole COVID pandemic situation, and so what's the basic philosophy behind background location tracking is that you can't track a location of a mobile phone without the consent of the user. Privacy is a very primary thing, and it can't happen without the knowledge. And this has actually started happening from Android 8 onwards, where actually there were a lot of permissions which are created um, to give uh, the users more control. But before that, I had hacked a way around with native code using something called a job scheduler. So basically, a job scheduler in Android is a job, a background job, or a service which is supposed to run every set period of time. So how I had implemented that is every 10 second a scheduler is going to start a service, fetch the service is going to fetch the location from the GPS of the mobile phone, and that's how we are going to get it. And this scheduler was in an infinite loop, so a lot of services were getting created. Uh, that was the only hack around without which you couldn't. Without that you couldn't actually get the location consistently. And then came a concept of foreground services. It's basically telling the users key, like there's something running behind your screen even when you kill the app, and you should be informed about it. So a best example of that was we use this app called Arogya Setu in India, which actually tracked your location all the time. It kept your GPS on. It worked only when your GPS and Bluetooth was on, and we used GPS and Bluetooth to track down and users who would have gotten in touch with a potential COVID patient or someone who has symptom, and so yeah, and to alert them. So something like this, this if the app is even killed, you have this thing in notification which tells a service is running, and that's called foreground service. So my implementation with React Native was, again, I had to struggle a lot finding a good library which could do everything together. And there is no such library. Just put it. So I had to patch away, and these were the steps I had to take care of. From my previous experience, was that keep a service running when the app is killed without disabling app battery optimization. That's a key thing, guys. When so if this was happening with my Android native app, was basically my services were getting killed because battery optimization settings kill services which is using mobile phones resources. So I had to go and disable battery optimization for the services to keep running. So I had to make a service run without getting killed and without disabling battery optimization. So that was one key challenge. Then it was access device GPS every 10 seconds, even when the app is killed. The React Native geolocation kept timing out. Okay, so there is a native geo, sorry, not native, a React Native library called geolocation, React Native geolocation. It kept timing out after every 30 or 45 seconds after the app was killed. The library lost access to the GPS after a certain point of time. And at the same time, even if it was still running, if the app was still running, it made a limited GPS request. So when I had continuous looping foreground services running, which access the GPS location in every 10 seconds, this didn't let the app close or kill the app. It affected React component lifecycle. So okay, so I created a foreground services using some. There are a lot of React Native libraries. I'll be going through them, and these libraries were re-rendering React components all the time. That was basically killing the app, starting it, killing the app, starting it. It was in a loop. It was happening in a loop. So yeah, so that was the thing. So keeping a service running when the app is killed without disabling battery optimization. I had learned for the first time there was a straightforward legal way to keep background service running without the user's knowledge. So I had to use foreground services to keep the process running, which also kept the user informed why the service was running even after the app is killed. I used this library, and there is a blog. I think I'm gonna implement that blog right now. So we'll start off with that. All right. So Raja Osama has written an amazing blog actually, which does something like this, which is React Native foreground services. I might just copy and paste the code and explain to you what's happening right now. Okay, how to configure foreground services within your app. You will need to add permission in your manifest files to keep your app running the background service. So first is we need to have these permission, which is foreground service in our Android and wake lock in Android. Now we need to define the name of the service, its description, and the color it is going to use, as well as we need to define the service and the headless task here. Okay, so this is basically, if you're going to run any Android services, you need to specify these services in your manifest file. So that's what's happening over here. And then in the above snippet, we define the color. We need to add the color. So that's not necessary. If you want to see, you can go indulge in it. Step 4 include receiving interaction of notification on your JS task navigate. Okay. So to receive, no, that's not necessary. First on new intent, then on start. Furthermore, in the last, we declare the function. All right, I think this is the native side updating, I guess. Yeah, I've forgotten because I had written that quite a while ago. And the last step is to register a headless task. All right, get React. Okay, all right. First on new intent. Perfect. You can actually see here's an example of foreground service. Let's see the GitHub repo. And here it's only the Android. So here he has created a Java file called as oh, it's a bridge. All right, foreground service, constant service, module, package, task. Oh, this is the React Native library of this. It's not the example. Yeah, this is the example. Android app, SRC. Hmm. All right. Background test, Java, inactivity. Okay, I need to set up a new screen for Android Studio. So just let me set that up. Android Studio. I mean new screen on OBS, which is not done yet. Right now. Can I lock this? I'm just gonna create on the go and open Android Studio as well. File. I'm gonna open my folder first. Give me a minute. Background location, Android. Okay, cool. So OBS, Android, window capture. Okay, this should be cool. All right, and let's just add the camera video catching device. Perfect. Sorry, I had not set this up, but no, it should be fine. All right, have four viewers. Not bad. Okay, so we have our Android app set up over here. So this is the Android app which is created automatically when you create the project. So when you, uh, so I'm gonna Android Studio, Chrome scene, right? So when you when you go to this, you can see here there is an Android folder. So I opened this Android folder inside the Android Studio, and so this is the code, and we'll be making some changes to this Android Studio code, referring to the blog, to create our foreground services first. So let's just go to that. Before doing that, I think we need to install this library. So let's do that first. Let's go to this, and there is this library called npm. So if you're new to this channel, you can install new libraries from npm or yarn. So there are like good set of libraries out there, and this has literally everything you need, so you don't have to worry about it. And a lot of our UI components and everything works very nicely from whatever you just see how many stars the repo has got and everything. So you can just copy this and go to your Visual Studio Code and go to the terminal, and you can create new tab. All right. So here I'm just gonna paste this. So you can do npm install or npm I, and the package name. So if you do this, you will have to run the app again using this new library. But yeah, this should work fine. So until this installs, we'll just go through this documentation. When to use this, if you want a foreground service in React Native, in the way to go, this plugin handles headless tasks, multiple tasks, notification customization, and notification interaction. Cool. So we gotta update few things on the native files, which is on Android manifest file, then main activity.java file, and I'm just gonna leave this. I'm just gonna use some default color for sake of it, and then we can get to the React Native side, the JavaScript side, and we can start using it as we require. So that should be cool. All right, so let's see if our library is installed. Okay, it's still in progress. Give it to a minute or two. All right, so it's installed. So let's just run the same command again. Npx react native run Android. So whenever you install a new package, it impacts your native code. I'm just telling this why we are running, or why it's not refreshing by its own, is because it refreshes when you are doing a JavaScript changes, not the native changes. The native changes are it stays basically. So yeah, so that's what it is. And All right. So yeah, it's working fine. So we have run our app. Now let's switch to Android Studio, and we'll be toggling between our Chrome screen and the Android Studio screen. Okay, so this screen and this screen, we'll be toggling between these two screens. So once you have, I'll just copy this link if you guys into the chat. Okay, it's asking me to sign into chat. Okay, let's see. All right, so pasting the link in the chat so that you can open it if you're implementing with me. So let's let's go to let's go to this package, and it asks us to add the text to line. So these two lines we need to add for permission. Let's just copy this and go to our Android Studio manifest files, user permissions, and this should be okay. Cool. Now let's go back to our Chrome. Add these. All right. So I'll be adding these inside our application. So this is basically fetching the services from our library. So if you look at right now, if you're seeing Android, when you see the project, if you go to the external, not here, packages, not really. All right, I think it's not added. So you'll see a folder getting added over here. So yeah, and we need these this color blue to be added as well. So let's just do that. And main activity. Yeah, we can just copy and paste this. Foreground, add from here down to the end of your main activity. Okay. So we'll add this in our main activity. There's some errors. We need to auto import alt plus enter. Click alt plus enter and it will import the classes. And all right, is there any error? There is some more errors. Okay, intent. All right, so we are good to go. Okay, so this is fine. And now in resources, go to your colors, add this. Okay, let's just add this. I think we are on. Let's connect it some resources, values. We'll have to create a new file, new value resource file called colors. This should be okay. So let's fix that. Okay, cool. Uh, this is fine. Now we have done the React Native part of it. Now let's again run the app. Why it's not going to the next line? It's actually supposed to get out. Okay. This is basically compiling whatever changes we have made on Android side. If we have done anything stupid or anything at fault, it will throw an error, but it's not. Okay, cool. Everything is working fine. Now we can keep the Android side apart. We don't need it. So you can see here we can go to our index.js, import the library, obviously, and go to index.js and import this library. Okay, cool. And we need to register our foreground process. And by the way, this is actually happening on our root level, mainly because it shouldn't impact other processes. So let's see what happened to our app. Is it working fine? Okay, but I'm just gonna give it a run again. We have a React Native foreground service running. It's registered to our app. So this is basically registering the services which we have created on our Android side. We added it to the manifest file. I'm not going to explain that too much, but yeah, those services are getting registered here, and this is basically helping us bridge between them. Okay, sorry. Fine, this is working fine, but we don't have any kind of notification running here. You can look at the screen. So now let's just get let's just add some task. So it's asking us register headless task. We have done that. Add a task, React Native, add a task console. I'm being tested. Delay of 10,000, task ID so and so, on error so and so. Okay, cool. Or else we can actually just ignore these parts, get to the part further. In the last, we declare a function. No, this is not required. Add a task. We can update your existing task by passing a task. Actually, we can actually register a task inside our component. So I'm gonna just create an src folder and call it as root root component root screen .js. Okay, and I'm gonna do export default function root screen return. Here I'm gonna say uh, welcome to the location tracking app. Okay, but if you can see here, view and text is not imported, so we need to import view and text from React Native. And before this, we need to import React from React. All right, so we have a component. Now instead of this, I'm gonna type root screen, use this over here, and our app will say welcome to the location tracking app. Now all my changes I'm gonna do is in root screen. This is just to show you guys key, you can use this. Now you can uh, register your task at any given point of any place. So I'm just gonna do that. Add a task. Again, do this outside your component. Don't do it inside your component. Um, this I'm gonna start a foreground services inside our app root here. So let's see if this will work out fine. They're online. All right. Okay, cool. So now you can see here, foreground services are running. Um, at the same time, when I close the app, like I'm gonna kill this app. So even when I kill this app, those foreground services are running. So and it has your app's name and foreground services, and when you click on this thing, app opens. So first part of the problem is solved. Like we have a service running, uh, which can which is basically keeping the app running. So we have a running foreground services using this library called as rn react native rn foreground services. Now let's get back to the our code. um, So first part was that, and then we had to fetch the geolocation. I mean the coordinates of your location. It was timing out, but let's just go to the code. Why do we have to even do this? Okay, configure our task. All right, cool. So we are going to first ask permissions. Obviously, we need to track the background location, right? So in Android. Background location permission. So access location in background. Okay, so if you don't ask this permission from Android 8 onwards, wait, just 4 is fine. Background location, yeah. So this permission, access background location permission. Okay, so if you don't ask this permission on Android, uh, so this basically asks tracks your location and it informs, it allows you. Or else if you don't ask this permission, I don't know, they have not shown the picture, but if you don't ask this permission, if your request to access the GPS module of the mobile will be timed out, or they won't allow you to access it to get the GPS coordinates. So if your app targets Android 10 or higher, also check for access Android background location. So you might have to add you know um, uh, if else condition if it is Android 10 or not. But our emulator is running right now on Android 10, so I'm just gonna presume that you are also doing that and you are handling that case. Look for use of fuse location, geofencing API, blah blah blah. Okay, cool, no problem. So this is a very important point, but at the same time we need access find location, um, and this two permission which needs to be added in our manifest file. So let's just add that. All right. So I'm gonna switch again to Android Studio. I thought it would be done, but no, it's not done. So we need two permission, which is access find location and we need background access background location. So we need to add these two permissions in our Android manifest file. And once we have done that, we need to ask for permission. So to basically ask for permission, you need to do this. Um, so if the permission is granted, you can go ahead with your process. If it is not granted, then you can't basically do this. So let's just ask this permission. Background granted. All right. Configure. So I'm just gonna. You have something called as permission Android, which helps you. Let's go here. paste this code. But we are obviously not going to do this here. Inside our component, we have background background granted as a thing, and we have to request permission for access background. Permission we need ask me later, cancel. Okay, if background is granted, permission granted, do your thing, whatever we have to do. So when are we going to ask this? So we are going to probably ask this when the app starts, right? So we need to ask this, all of this, when the app starts. So there's something called as a use effect. I don't know if you know of this, but use effect helps us in state, like whenever the state or the when screen is rendering or changing this, we can use effect. So if you have a state variable, you can type the state variable name here, and whenever the state variable changes, this callback function of the use effect will be called. But right now there is no use effect. Sorry, there is no state variable. But if you add this as a empty array, this refers to whenever this component root screen renders first. So we are going to paste the same code over here, and let's see what happens. All right, so I'm just going to save this and see what happens with our phone. Okay, so unexpected reserved word await. Okay, all right. So we have fine. So await can't be used because we it's a not an asynchronous function. So I'm gonna create a function called as request permission async, and I'm gonna put this whole thing inside that. Oh, shit. I'm gonna paste this code inside that. All right, and call this function over here. Cool. So we have made some significant change. So let's just run this again. Okay, it's not asking for any permission. Maybe because of the location. Okay, and this has the permission. Wait, it's not happening. I think by default in an emulator is it given? Not really sure. But yeah, let's log it over here and see what's happening. Console.log permission granted. Oh, all right. For some reason, this is very weird, but our Android emulator already has a permission, and I don't know if I can show you this, but let me just add another screen on OBS. See the blog screen, or could you please change the screen? Okay, I'm not able to see the chats as well. Okay, but I'm just gonna add Metro server screen. Okay, this is the metro server which is running right now. So all the errors and everything will come here. So you can see here the log screen log is basically showing uh, our its permission is granted, and if the permission is granted, we can just go further and try to log this. So we need another library called as React Native location. So I'm just going to add that library to our npm install React Native location. Let's see why this is happening. Okay, this is because the emulator has its own default term. The locations are always turned on, and the you can set the coordinates for the emulator. Were you able to see this? I don't know. This part. No, you're not able to see that part. Okay, it's a new window. Alright, why is it taking so much time to download? Okay, so basically when you click these three dots, there will be a three dots right next to this. And when you click that, you have an extended control, and so you can set the location. So you should have your GPS on. If you don't have your GPS on, request for that again. Until this is installing, I'll just show you a quick code. Request for GPS, request for turning GPS on React Native. So you can actually React Native check and prompt user. All right. So if you have something like this, there is a library called as and React Native Android location service dialog box. No, I didn't use something like that. Yeah, okay. So you need to have this library called React Native Android location enabler, which basically turns the location on. Luckily, we have our location on right now. For some reason, I have no idea. I'm running this piece of code for the first time on an emulator. I don't know if we'll actually end up getting live location or not. Okay, why is it taking so much time? This shouldn't be taking so much time. I'm just gonna kill this. I don't know how many viewers do we have. 3 viewers. Cool. If you have any questions specific, you can ask. I'll try to wrap this up in another 15-20 minutes. It has already been almost an hour now. Why is this stuck, dude? Let's just see what's happening with our Chrome home screen. This is the thing. That's why I use yarn. Yarn is better. Probably from the next time I'll just do that instead of using this. This is taking just forever to install this. I don't know why it's stuck. Probably it's because if it is in TypeScript or something. No idea. Damn. Okay. So okay, this thing is not working fine. All right. So I'll do one thing. I will try making a video. No, on Sunday I'll be doing a stream anyways. In that stream, I'm gonna build this dribble one word. Oh shit. This screen on Sunday. It's already 1 hour. So on Sunday I'll be starting off with the very basics of React Native. Uh, Yeah, so I'll be starting off with the basics of React Native and by actually designing the screen, like how are the views happening, what's happening, like how can you add these icons, how you can add, make those cards, insert images, design when you click what happens, all those things. I'll be designing these two screens. Okay, and this video will be be in private because it's a pilot run. I wanted to see if this whole setup was working fine, because the last stream when I did it just crashed, and the OBS kept crashing the streaming software. So yeah, the whole pandemic situation is also not very great. I don't know. So I'll be doing this stream on Sunday, again at 10 o'clock, Sunday or Saturday. I'll be doing this stream. So if you're new to React Native, it's a great framework, and we will implement this better. Another thing is I'm still new to streaming, so this is going to be a lot of iteration in getting things right and planning it better. For example, like I probably could have uh, tried installing this package before the stream or something of that sort because it's a new setup, so that other people who are watching it, or if this video is released or something of those things, it's not actually an issue. So yeah, so see you guys on Sunday. Actually, this package got installed. So actually, let me know what do you want me to do. Do you want me to continue? The package has gotten installed. Luckily, you can see here the package got installed. Or do you want me to actually do this on Sunday? Whatever works, I'm cool with that. So basically, once the library is installed, you need to configure, put in a bunch of configuration for the library, which is basically distance filter, how much filter you need, what kind of accuracy you need, what kind of like every 500 millisecond, 5000 millisecond, there will be a location fetch. What's the wait time? Wait time after how many seconds can I wait and fetch this, fetch the data, all those things, and this is iOS specific. Then after that, you can actually inside our use effect, you could just copy and paste this code. uh, Basically it's creating a React Native task. Inside that task we are requesting for the permission. Once the permission is granted, it's going to basically subscribe for the location, get fetch the GPS location, and it is going to print it. So probably I'll just actually do this and see if it is working or not, at least मालूम तो पड़ जाएगा कि काम कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा है, or if there is some sort of change. Okay, actually I'll just copy and paste. It should be fine, I guess. Yep, so we have our thing configured, and now let's add this piece of code, add a task into our request permission. So this is getting called. If it is called, location, its permission is granted, and inside, once the permission is granted, we are going to add this task and see what happens. Either the app is going to crash or we are actually going to see something. Okay, there's some sort of promise ejection. All right, I'm gonna run this. Oh yeah, we need to add React Native foreground services as well. All right, cool. Actually, it's working. So I'm just running this. Just hold on. I'm running it again. So you have a foreground services running, and I'm gonna switch to the screen which has Metro server. All right. So you would be seeing location coordinates. I have months and dates and when I'm getting build errors and I don't know how to solve them. All right, not a problem. If you can see, I'm getting the location requests right now itself. So this is a hard-coded location I have put somewhere in USA, which is getting fetched from the emulator. So every 50, I guess every 10-20 seconds, or this you're going to get the location, and so yeah, so that's how it's working, and that's all, I guess. So you're getting the data. So you have the longitude and latitude, this thing, the coordinates. Now you can use them based on your requirements, and that should be all right. And you're seeing those many location permissions too because it's the services are running in loop. That's the reason why it's happening, and that should be it. And let's do one thing. Let's try killing the app. Let's try killing the app and see what's happening. I have killed the app. Foreground services is running. Uh, let's see what's happening with that metro services. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to metro server. You can see the metro server, and even now when I'm scrolling up, you can see that new permissions are. So basically, this is a running in a loop, okay, which is fetching the location, and so yeah, this is working out. This is working fine. So do try it out. I hope this helps. I'm just gonna stop the stream and I'm gonna let it be there and probably make a better video, more structured video for this. Okay. And yeah, that's all, guys. Thank you. I think there are four viewers. I don't know who are these four viewers. One is probably Sanjana. Charit is over here, and Jeevan, so yeah, he will be here. So yeah, guys, thanks for coming. And this was the first pilot run test, and I hope this has helped you in some way, some information, something you learned, maybe how location services work in general, and how React Native works. So yeah, thank you. I'm just gonna end the stream.